welcome to the final race in the NWCC Online Crit Series. Hopefully the video is working well. Tonight we have a number of racers. I believe at last count it was 18. Let me double check that here. Let's see, 19 signed up now for our race tonight. At our peak we were over 30 on a regular basis. But should be a good field tonight. A special race tonight. We were going a little bit longer than usual, 5 laps on our course tonight. We were offering cash prizes and additional prizes for various things. We have a preem, a $25 cash preem on laps 2 and laps 4 tonight. We also have the winning club will be getting $100 that I will be donating to the charity of that club's choice, the winning club's choice. We have some special event winners. Vi13, the Northwest Cycling Club apparel sponsor, is throwing in swag for both the top 3 men's and women's finishers, so equal payouts across the genders there. We also have the highest average heart rate for the race will be getting $25, courtesy of Don Kegel. Because sometimes I'm sorry. That one is via Eno. That one's from Eno. That's the Suffer Award. And then Don is offering $25 for highest average power, because sometimes these bigger riders, you can put out a lot of power, but you hit a little hill or something like that, and the smaller riders just get a little bit of an advantage. And so the highest power, not watts per kilogram, just highest number. If you average 310 watts for the entirety of the race, and that is the highest number out of everyone for the race, you are the winner. If your average heart rate is 183, and that's the highest of anyone monitoring heart rate data during the race, you are the winner of Enos. So some novelty prizes, which are actually equal to the preems tonight, which is pretty cool. Another caveat with the preems, if you win the preem on lap 2, we will not allow that person to win the preem on lap 4. We want to spread around as much of these prizes as we can, just to kind of say thank you to all of these racers for doing this series. For those of you who don't know, I started this series a few months back. Initially, I thought it would be something fun to do, and it was going to be just an intra-club thing with Northwest Cycling. Never expected more than 3 or 4 people to show up. I was worried that it would just me and one other person racing, and maybe our abilities would be very disparate and it wouldn't be very fun. We had 9 people, all club members, show up for the first race, and it was actually a lot of fun, very competitive. And then Cyprus Multisport, CMOB, asked if they could participate after watching, and they brought a few members. And then they brought a few more, and then we brought a few more, and then Southwest Cycling showed up, and then Fort Bend Kia reached out, and all of a sudden we had 30-plus racers on a weekly basis. And we've had I believe we've had 49 different racers when I checked my spreadsheet who have participated in this series, both men and women. We've had juniors, we've had seniors, we've had people from all disciplines. One of the cool things about Zwift. So just a really, really cool thing to see this happening here with the race series. Really excited. You can see riders here lining up along the start line. I should have some camera control here. There we go. So you can see all the different racers beginning to line up over here. What we do is we'll have a neutral start to the beginning of the race. My racer will actually sit static. You'll notice that I am not racing this week, which is a little bit unusual. But in order to be able to better observe what is happening, a lot of times I'm kind of on my limit in these races. If you've ever watched these before, these are not casual if you're trying to be competitive. And if I'm trying to coordinate team tactics in our team radio, which again, you won't get tonight, unfortunately. But it's easier for me to observe who, if there's a sprint finish for the preems or something like that, to kind of keep on track of all of that, who's winning what, and to kind of be there and observe the finish so that I can make sure that I'm rewarding the appropriate people, and also just kind of to make this more of a celebration of what this series has been, because it really has been cool. I've enjoyed it. I know a lot of people have. It's been a real highlight during the pandemic when we didn't have a lot of other options going. 1 second, I'm checking just to make sure our feed is going okay. We've got 3 minutes till race time. Let's start letting the racers know. And letting them know that I'm not racing, and all right, so there we're just covering some of our bases, making sure everyone's knows what's going on. And let me go ahead and switch over here on our cam. I'm going to bring in the, we're going to move this over just a bit and bring the phone into the picture here, over here on the left side, so that you can see, you know, if I need to check a better view of the gaps and things like that. Aaron talking about recalibrating his trainer to win the highest watts prize is pretty funny. And then it also lets you kind of see where I'm observing and things like that. Because again, my rider will stay stationary here at the start while we observe the other riders. And again, the phone app there gives you kind of an overview. We can look at the map. We can check gaps a little bit better so that you're viewing this, or if you're one of the racers rewatching this later, you can kind of see a little bit better, hopefully, what's going on. A little added feature this week, since I'm not on the bike, that we can do. Oops, got to remember to type in the correct window here. All right, so here we go. We're about to start. 1 second. There we go. We're going to go ahead and jump up to the front of the race here. Hopefully they can see me. All right. Wow, Gary started way up the road. All right, so you can see we've got a number of riders here. All these riders on the right, these are the rider names. Most of them have club names listed next to them for your identification purposes. Some don't. For the most part, you see these red and blue kits. Those are the Northwest Cycling Club riders. If you've watched us before, you know that. Some people who are not NWCC labeled on their names. A. Johnson's Aaron, D. Kegel's Don. Gary White's got an Auto Velo tag, but he's also representing Cypress Multisport here. You see a lot of the C-Mob tags. Trying to find some. Joe Nowak here is representing Southwest Cycling. He has a teammate in this race somewhere also, who we'll find eventually. If you can see on the map here on the phone, the group is pretty clustered, which is good. Everyone's grouped up. That's what we want. You can see this volcano on the map there. That is essentially they will be doing laps around and through that. 5 of them, as a matter of fact. Let's go back to a more standard view here. There we go. They're going to go through this volcano once. The second time they go through, they will hit the starting line, and then it's 5 laps from there. And so here we go. Keep typing. Hopefully they can see what I'm saying. But who knows? We'll find out eventually. I'm trying to keep tabs on the stream over here. That's why I'm looking over. I'm on 2 monitors, and they're side by side instead of stacked. All right, back to the Zwift window. Somebody's already blowing a feather, which is something that makes your rider lighter. I don't remember if it's 10 or 15% lighter. It used to be a flat kilogram amount, but that was a greater benefit to light riders. You know, if you're 50 kilos and you lose 15, and you're 100 kilos and you lose 15, it's significantly better for the lighter rider. So I believe it's a flat percentage of your weight now. Weird to burn a power up during the neutral. This is a mostly flat course. It's almost entirely flat. You can see the gradient up here at the top right. They are on a neutral gradient now, but now you can see that they are beginning to hit this downslope. This downslope is counteracted on the other side of the course by a equally short and approximately just as steep incline. It's not spaced out in rollers over the course of this lap. It is basically one descent there, short descent, and one short hill climb. We'll go ahead and give Christian a ride on here. And then other than that, it's mostly pancake flat. The breakaway opportunities will be probably when you'll see some animation. It's going to happen at the incline here at the end of this straightaway as they go back in. And then it is a little bit of an incline, mild gradient, 1 or 2% to the finish in there. But other than that, it's there's going to be some interesting team tactics. Each team has a decent number of members in the race tonight. And you can see up here at the top left, this is their current power. Current cadence, I would guess he doesn't have an accurate cadence given that it's never moving and it's awfully low. He's not wearing a heart rate monitor. Let's go see if we can find someone else. Where's Coach at? I just saw his name. I lost him. Let's go to Ted. Oh, there's Aaron. All right, see there, Aaron's power. Aaron's a little bit heavier, obviously. So his power numbers are going to just be naturally higher. I don't get the graph at the bottom like I normally get when I'm riding, but we do see his RPMs and his heart rate. Still very decent heart rate. Hopefully they can see what I'm saying. I'm not sure if they can. Maybe I should pop into the Discord and ask real quick. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Bear with me. Hey guys, just checking. Can you see the things I'm typing? Oh. Oh wow, that's not good. It must be range banded then. Here, let me try again. And this banner that you're coming up on is the go banner. All right, I just typed go at the banner. Did you see that? Did you get that? Oh, that's super unfortunate. Okay. All right. All right, well, I'm going to pop back out. Race well, guys. This is the start coming up here at the banner. All right, well, that's unfortunate. They cannot see what I am saying when I type. I wonder if we go to messages, will they be able to read? Okay, so race on. I'm going to type it again in the app just in case. And we'll go back to the map. I would hope that the ride leader would, again, we're doing this via meetups and not real races. Whoa, Phil Loya. Going hard to start. Look at this, an attack right out of the gate. I love it. 7 watts a kilo. Right on, Phil. Early attack. It's going to be hard for him to stay away. You can see in the extended view, the pack is right on him. If we zoom in on the map here, we got to get a little bit closer to see any spacing there. Yeah, you can see that they're not really going to let him get away. Take a rear view look. Yeah, they've already brought that back. That was a lot of energy, but you know, it's early. It's a 5-lap race. Perfectly fine to do something like that. Try something like that. See if they let it go. Aero power up right there in case you've never watched Swift before. That makes your rider less affected by wind drag. So your power becomes significantly more efficient. Very effective on a sprint. Highly, highly valued on a sprint. Feathers are obviously valued for climbing. Those arrows are valued for sprinting or just maintaining a high pace on a downhill. Here we have Justin Stracey driving the pace. He does this in a lot of races. Unfortunately, he races solo. If he would ever get somebody to work with him, he'd become very dangerous. But generally speaking, he does a lot of work and doesn't find a lot of cooperation, at least historically in this series. It looks like Phil might be riding up to him. But yeah, the group's not probably going to let them get away. They're doing 5 watts a kilo, which is huge work. And I don't think the group's going to let that fly. Yeah, well, maybe. They're kind of waiting to see. We've now got Joe's up there with them. I mean, they could push this and maybe try to get away. But the group's still sitting right there on their heels. They're not opening a gap. I mean, Justin's up there at almost 6 watts a kilo. And he's just not getting away. Maybe he's going for the highest average power for the race. Yeah, look at this. Look at these numbers, guys. 354. And his heart rate's up there already, too. He's already in the 170s. He might be going for $50 here, heart rate and power. And if you look at the bottom left of your screen there on the phone app, he's got a reasonable gap. Well, but never mind. I guess it just looks bigger because I'm zoomed in so far. There we go. I guess that's more representative of what we're actually seeing. Let's go ahead and give Justin a ride on for. I mean, he is putting out a lot of work. Look at his power compared to the riders immediately behind him. He's 2 watts, 1.8 to 2 watts ahead of everyone behind him. He's doing all this work, and the pack is basically working as a blob where they're just kind of, you know, shifting in and out the churn, and no one's really going too much harder than that, and they brought him back. I mean, it's hard to stay away unless you put a big kick in and really go for it. And now Justin's got to reassess what he was doing. Again, he might just be going for the highest average power and heart rate. It's hard to tell what is, you know, a winning tactic here and what is a, you know, some gamesmanship for some of these prizes. Unfortunately, no one will be able to hear me tell them that it is the preem lap. I'll pop into the Discord and let our guys know. I don't want to give them an unfair advantage, but that's... Oh, here we go. We've got Ben attacking off the front. We've got... Whoa, we've got a whole team of attack. Yeah. Aaron jumped right up there with him. Joel's up there with him. This looks like this is a real attempt here to get away. But you can see Ted doing 5.8. Pedro doing 5.8, Joe doing 5.5. They're not letting this go easy. But now Ben has done the thing where he eases up. See, thing in Zwift is you can ease up and let somebody get kind of blocked by that. But not so. Maybe they're trying to get a gap for the preems. All right, here comes Pedro. Now, when he gets to the front, if he throws it down, he is a real threat. He's had some breakaway wins in this series, as has Ben. So those two are definitely, look at this power that they're putting out at the front. I mean, Aaron's hammering down too. They're trying very hard to make this stick. And I think that Ben's, yeah, that's going to be a real thing if somebody doesn't bring that back. And you can see the group is starting to get a little bit shredded from it. So this will be the end of the first lap. And this is now a preem lap coming up. So if Ben holds this, he's headed for 20. Well, he's got company now. He's got 2 teammates. Pedro and Gary are right with him. And then Aaron is not far behind. That's Aaron back there in the blue cap. Just, you know, from Aaron's perspective, you can see he's kind of hugging Gary's wheel. But Ben and Pedro look like they've got, you know, look at their numbers. They look like they're trying to ride this into the sunset right now on lap 1. Let me go let the guys know here. Preem lap, guys. Preem lap. All right. We'll type it just in case. I don't know if anyone can see it. But Aaron's not mailing this in yet. Look at this. Let's see how far. That's a decent sized gap that they've got on him. And you can see the field is really, we'll get a better view of it out here. Let's go to the freestanding camera. And we'll get, so this is the second chase group. That's the main group back there. And then you can see a third group. So we've got the second chase group, or the chase group, second chase group, and then there's a third group back there. And then if we rotate around, the front group looks like they've got about 100 meters, 120 meters on Aaron right now. If we jump up to them and look backwards, you can see that you really can't almost see him anymore. Good night, buddy. I love you.
I love you.
Jesus, watch over you. All right, sweet dreams to you too. Saying goodnight to my kid there. All right, so Pedro's up front. I mean, he's putting down real power. Ben's right on his wheel. I mean, look, he's doing a watt to a watt and a half less than Pedro, and 4 to 4. That's still real work. We got some teammates fighting for a preem here, guys. All right, we might have to go to the side view here and see who nips it. I'm not sure what the best view is to see who. Yeah, unfortunately, this might be our best view to see who's going to win if it lets us keep the overhead view in the volcano. Okay, it does. It does. They're still about half a lap away from the preem. So it's not this time through the volcano, it's the next time. All right, let's go back. You can see the group is kind of split up. Ted is, oh, he's bridging hard. Look at this. Ted is going. He's kind of on an island now. Behind Ted, I don't know if you can see it real well on the stream because of the resolution, but about 100 to 150, probably maybe 200 meters behind Ted is the next group with Gary and Aaron. Joel, our Gary, NWCC Gary's, Joe Nowak, that's kind of and Coach Carl. And then the group back from them looks like it's got Justin, Sebastian, Phil, and then we've got Christian riding back here, and a few others. I never remember who Digital Knight is. I probably should by now, but I never remember who that is. It's one of the C-Mob riders. And we've got a two-man race off the front right now for the preem. And unless Ted catches up, and if Ted does catch him, he's closing the gap, but if he does catch him, I don't know what he's going to have left to close for the sprint on the preem, because he's really, I mean, look at those, he's having to work awfully hard, and Pedro and Ben are probably coming pretty close to matching. He's got it down to about 4 seconds now. Let's see if we can get a better view of it. Yeah, so you can see, this is Ted right here. They're not real, he can see them. Ted can see them, but he can also, that's another benefit of Zwift that you don't get in real life that makes attacking and bridging very tactical in this, in that you can actually see what your opponent's efforts are. So Ben and Pedro up here up front, they can see exactly how hard Ted is going to try to catch up to them. You know, on a road race, you got to look over your shoulder, and if he's, on a bend or just far enough that you can't see, unless you're getting, time splits from the moto official every 5 seconds, you're not going to know how hard he's closing. I mean, he's going really hard here. Ted is a track racer. He's won on breakaways the last 2 races, but for him to sustain this kind of power this early is really going to take a lot out. It would take a lot out of anybody. Let's be honest. It would crush me too. But for a guy who specializes in, races that are hundreds of meters, to go this hard for 5-10 minutes is a real effort. Here we go up the incline here. You can see we're on a 5-6% incline now, Ted is. All right, we got to jump back up to the front guys here. And we want the overhead view because we need to see who's going to win the preem. And I have a feeling it's going to be close. Oh my goodness, it's going to be close. Ben's letting up. Pedro's going for it. Oh, Pedro. Let's get back to this view. I mean, that's the preem right there. Coming up. Oh, there goes Ben. Oh, Ben's going to take it. He's going hard. No, they're just kind of trading punches here. Who's going to take this? Ben gets that one. All right, let's whisper Ben. Let's see here. Text. Congrats on the preem. And you can tell my texting skills are subpar. But there we go. Message to Ben. Congrats on the preem. Go back to the map. And back to the race proper. Ted looks like he lost a little bit of that gap there. I don't know if he was trying to close the preem or if he's actually going for the race standings here. If we jump back in the race, we can see Gary, Aaron, and Don. Again, Aaron and Don don't have the NWCC tags, but they are certainly racing for Northwest Cycling Club. They're both Northwest Cycling Club members and racers. We've got Joel up here with us. We've got Joe Nowak, and that looks like this group, and Gary White from Vi 13. And then in the group behind them, if we jump back, we still have Phil and Justin. Looks like Justin's got a bit of a gap on Phil. And then the next group back, the two Becks and Digital Knight, who, again, I can never remember who that is. So let's get back towards the front of the race. Again, it looks like we've got two well off the front from Cypress Multisport, Pedro and Ben. About 30 seconds ahead of what I would consider the chase group. And then Ted is kind of midway. Ted's in what I like to call the worst place to be. And this is not a strategy failure on his part, but at this point, he's going really hard. He's going over 4 watts a kilogram. He's burning, but he's not closing the gap on the group in front of him, and he's burning up while there's a group behind him, and you're by yourself. And you have to... He's getting close to the point where he has to make a tactical decision on whether or not to fall back and help the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish riders behind him, most of which are teammates, by the way. So again, I'm not sitting in the team radio this week. I'm not privy to the strategy. I don't know what they're talking about. I think if it were me, I would be asking him, can you bring them back? And if he's saying he thinks he can, then keep going. But if he's saying, I need help, at this point, he needs to shut it down, let those 5 or 6 riders catch up to him, and then they need to start burning each other up in turns to bring that group back. Because right now, the lead's not huge. It's 18 seconds from Ted, and it's, if we go back to the chase group, it's 40 seconds. And we're only on lap 3, so it's still manageable. They can still bring this back. But they've got to really start doing it soon. And if they're not working together and their biggest match is getting burned up here and it's not going to do anything to help everyone, that's going to be, again, I don't know the communication, but I think at this point, if I'm Ted, I'm shutting it down and I'm coming back to the group. And then I'm going to take a rest while somebody else in the group really gets after it. And then once I've got, my legs back, assuming he can even get him back at this point, he's been out here like hard charging for a while. And we can see, looks like Aaron and Coach, I saw some red numbers light up. Aaron's putting in a move. And so this chase group looks like he tried to get off the front. Looks like Coach came with them. Gary's with him too. Joe's right with them. Gary from Autovelo, C-Mob. That didn't really break up the group. They're all still kind of right together here. If we look, it is strung out. It is strung out. There's the potential for those gaps to widen if the front hammers it here. Oh, yeah, it might be splitting into a front 4 and a back 3 in the chase here. And again, Ted still up in front. His lead on this chase group has now shrunk by about another 4 to 5 seconds. And his distance behind the front group continues to grow. Let's check our messages here. Nope, nothing. Okay. So let's go back up to the front. These two, I never know if they're working together or not. I've seen them both go hard. and cooperate to win. I know that sometimes not all the Cypress Multisport are on team radio together, and so they're not always communicating strategy. Given tonight's race, they might be, and what's at stake here. But I just don't know. And again, there is pride too. It doesn't matter if you're teammates. If they both come to the line at the end, I'm sure they'll both sprint for the win. This is let's see here. We are still on lap 3. And we have 24 kilometers to go. I'm not to go. That's the total. We're at 15.6. So we're at about 8.5 kilometers to go. Ted has fallen back again. He's dropping probably 3 or 4 seconds every minute, every half minute. And the group behind is, man, Aaron and Coach are really ramming it here. This group is not organized, and that's a problem, I think, just because you've got a lot of teammates here. Aaron, Coach, Gary, Don, all teammates. We got 4 riders from the same team in this group, and then you have Gary from C-Mob and Joe from Southwest. So it either needs to be 4-on-2 or all 6 of them, like 6 for all. It shouldn't be 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1 like this. They're not going to catch the front 2 if they're attacking each other. And the 4 NWCC riders, with the numbers they have, again, Aaron's never on team radio, so it's hard to know what he is doing. But these 4 riders that are Northwest Cycling really need to coordinate and group up and start working together, because even if Pedro and Ben, and it looks more likely like that's going to happen, if they continue to ride away with this race, that 3rd spot on the podium is still up for grabs. And so what they need to do is work together, get Ted back into the fold, and make it a 5-on-2, which, because the other 2 are actually on separate clubs, would be a 5-on-1-on-1. And there's no way that they should lose that, especially with the sprinters that Northwest has in their group. All right, so back up to Ted. These guys are coming up on the conclusion of lap 3. So they will be heading into a preem lap, which at this rate looks like it will go to Pedro, because Ben won the second one. Ted now 34 seconds back. He's still going really hard, and he's, unfortunately, again, I feel like this is a strategy issue in that, and again, let me be very forthright in that in previous races, I have been sort of directing things in the Northwest Cycling Club team radio, and so there may be some lack of cohesion and coordination with the team strategy since I'm not there doing that this week. I'm not blaming these guys for doing what they're doing. It's hard to do anything. Like when you're on the rivet like Ted is, Ted's been 4+ this entire race. Like he is... Every match he has been burned, and now he's burning everything in the house down to try and, do everything he can in this race. When you're at that point, you maybe can't even speak clearly. You can't always think the way that you should. That's why I've kind of stepped up and done that, and that I can be a domestique and I don't have to go as deep. But at this point, somebody who's in this race needs to say, and there's a lot of experience in this race, by the way, too. Needs to coordinate and say, hey guys, look, we've got 4 riders here. We've got a 5th up the road. What are we trying to do here? If we're trying to lock up 3rd as a team, we want that last podium spot. We can't just keep beating each other up back here, and we can't just let Ted dangle and burn up, because if we do bring him back, he's not going to have any opportunity then. It's going to be 4 of us instead of 5 of us, and they're still dragging these other 2. Let's see here. Yep. Nope. Oh, nope, never mind. Looks like Joel is off the back of the chase group, but Joe still right there. So they're dragging Joe awfully close to a podium position. So at this point, now it's a 3 versus 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's a 4 versus 1. So we have Aaron, Gary. Oh no, Gary's still up there. So it's, never mind. There's 2 other. What Coach and Aaron and Gary need to do at this point is one of them needs to attack and bridge up to Ted. That's what needs to happen. Or they're all going to go. And you see some of these numbers pop up, and he'll kick up to the front here, but then they're just pulling these guys up, and I think they're gonna haul Ted back. I really do. All right, so that's Pedro and Ben. You see Sebastian with a 546. They're actually passing him at this point. Looks like Sebastian's just kind of in ride mode at this point. Not sure what his race intention was tonight, but at some point, if you've executed the part that you had to play, there's no shame in shutting it down and just riding out, at a comfortable pace. And Sebastian has done some, he's one of our junior riders. He's done some heroic things in this series. One of our better juniors, Lucas, also in this series. We've had 2 different juniors in this series. Lucas actually took a race on the Yorkshire course, which was pretty cool. All right, so I believe we're about to watch Pedro roll into his preem lap win here. Am I on the wrong? I'm on the right side of the volcano. Here we go. This should be, because Ben, even if Ben crosses the line here first, he won the preem on lap 2. This will be Pedro's, even if Ben beats him to the line. There is nobody within 40 seconds of them. I mean, he could have 2 digital flats at this point, and it should still be his. Let's get man, he's still putting out. They don't want to be caught. I mean, look at this. 5 and 4. I mean, they're over 4.5, 4 watts. They don't want to be caught. Oh, I can't message him? Turn private messaging off or follow Pedro Gomes. I'm not following him. Okay. Follow. Done. Text. Congratulations on the preem. All right, so there we go. Pedro just won $25 cash, which, let's face it, good for Pedro. He needs some wins here. He's got that jersey by his name for a reason. He's a professional triathlete. He is no slouch on a bike, ladies and gentlemen. But so the 2 preems of the night. Lap 2 went to Ben Proco from Cypress Multisport, and lap 4 goes to Pedro. It remains to be seen who's going to win the race. It looks increasingly likely that it'll be Cypress Multisport, given that they now have a 48-second gap on the next closest club, which is Ted, who is still riding solo. You can see there's nobody in sight behind him yet. He's only, his lead has grown back up. The chase group had got it down to about 17 seconds. And Ted's now put another 8 seconds back on them. So he's still holding at, he's going to average over 4 watts a kilogram this race. And that's, for a race this long for him, that is a gargantuan effort. And good for him. That would be 3rd for Northwest Cycling. Again, I'm commenting, but I can't pretend to be completely unbiased. That is the club that I ride and race for. And I really enjoy riding with my teammates. I'm thrilled to see all these guys racing, to be honest. I'm happy for Cypress Multisport, Southwest Cycling, all the clubs that participate with us. They've all been great supporters of this series. And in my experience, everyone that I've raced with, both in this series and these guys that I've raced with and met on the road in real life, are all stand-up people. So I'm not unhappy to see any of these guys win anything. But yes, for personal reasons, for club pride reasons. Look at Sebastian. Oh, there we go. There we go. We're playing some 3D chess here. Sebastian sitting up to give Ted a pull. Wow. Okay. Look, yeah, Ted catching some rest. Sebastian doing a little work. Okay, guys. Look at that. Look at that junior stepping in and giving Ted a breather. Okay, that's a good play. Back to the chase group here, which is now 27 seconds behind Ted. Make sure I've got it right up. I don't have one for Coach yet. There we go. Aaron, Joe. And Joel back out. He's in his own no man's land now too, with Don in between him and Justin. They're all kind of riding solo. Phil Loya, who did that big attack early for us, riding here towards the back. Then we got Christian riding solo. And again, I can't ever remember who Digital Knight is, and I'm so sorry. That's another Cypress Multisport, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I still have the thing on the messages there. My mistake, guys. But it's looking like the race is coming to a close here with Ben and Pedro in pretty complete control. You can see that's them right here. It says that they've got a minute gap. We don't even have Ted in the picture yet. Yeah, that's a gargantuan lead that they've got at this point. We're close to a minute now, basically a minute, and Sebastian still doing work with Ted. The group chasing, again, if we look at Ted's time, that's the one that matters. Sorry, on Sebastian there, that's a little off when you're looking at him because he's on a different lap. But Ted is, a minute back, but they're still about half a minute up the group in front of them. So I think we might have our top 3 places fairly well decided here at this point. This is Pedro and this is Ben here. In a 2-man breakaway that has been gone basically since the second lap when they attacked, which, I mean, they've always been instigators in this series. They've always been ones to animate the race. Again, when you have people who specialize in triathlons and things like that, the long distance, the sustained power is going to be their strength. They're not looking to win in sprints, and so these breakaways definitely suit their riding style, and they have certainly capitalized on that in a number of races, and now today also. Each of them has won races in this series, and it's looking like one of them is going to get the one today. Ted still sticking with Sebastian, still putting out solid power, still helping Ted. And the chase group now has fallen to, I'm still at half a minute. So I think Ted, despite what I said earlier about him wanting and needing to, not wanting to, but needing to fall back to the chase group to have a better chance. It looks like they are proving me wrong with this secret little ace up their sleeve, having Sebastian drop back. All right, here we come to the finish. It looks like Pedro is up ahead, and Pedro took the race. Yep, Pedro took the race. All right, let's drop back. I got to get back. Oh, I'm missing everything now because now I'm out of the meetup. No. Extreme failure here on my part. I didn't know it was going to do that. So now, well, let's see here. Let me find somebody. How do I view this guy? Fan view. All right, so there's Justin. There we go. Now we can start to hop back up the... There we go. I just had to find a rider still. Here comes Ted coming to the finish. So we've got Pedro 1, Ben 2. We're watching Ted roll across the line. 6.5. He's not shutting it down. Look at this. That's what you like to see. A racer who's put in that kind of work can just roll it to the line, still has enough pride to go super hard, finish third. Maybe, heart rate, maybe power, I don't know. I have no idea what his heart rate was for this race. We'll drop back to Sebastian there. Ted's got third locked up. Congratulations. Look at this. Well done, Sebastian. Great job helping your teammate. Even when your, race was over. Here comes the rest of the group sprinting for pride and position. Holy cow. We've got all sorts of red numbers here. Gary popping off over 1,100 watts. Aaron popping off 1,000 watts too. Gary White coming in. Joe Nowak. So the chase group coming to the line now. And we'll see results here at some point. I won't be able to post them up since I'm not riding the race, so we won't see the final results for just a moment. I might have to go to the activities page once somebody finishes their ride, and then we'll be able to see it. All right, so we still got a number of racers on the course. Let's see if we can pull up results. Has anyone posted activities yet? Swifting now, Swifting now. I don't have any completed activities yet. If you look at the list of activities here, once somebody completes their ride and saves it, we'll be able to see the actual total results screens. But great race, great race. The heart rate and total power is going to take a little bit of time because we're going to have to look at everybody's stats post-race. So I won't be able to announce those here on this video and in this stream. But what I can announce probably with pretty decent certainty is that Pedro first, Ben second, Ted third. Despite the fact that we had several women sign up and there were prizes first through third for women, I did not see any women in the field tonight at the actual start line. So that's unfortunate. We've had some decent participation, but not tonight. Let's see. Still no one has posted their ride yet. Just the warm-ups that they've done. You can see everyone, again, the race is approximately 24.2 kilometers. You can see that there are still a number of riders. This is my guy still sitting at the start. And I shouldn't have done that because now, how do I get back to... I gotta go. There we go. I'll go back to Sebastian. There we go. Yeah, so good race tonight. Fitting end to the series. Again, congratulations to Cypress Multisport. Let me send a message to Ben real quick and see if we can't figure out who their charity of choice is. Give me 1 second. Let me send him a message. Let's see. Bear with me. We're trying to get this up. Oops. Send him a ping here. We'll see if he gets it. He may be in the Hurt Locker still. You can see the best times on the laps here. These guys are cutting laps at 5:30 a pop. That's very, very fast, by the way. That's exceedingly fast. Let's see. No response yet from Ben on who the Cypress Multisport charity of choice is, but we'll post that in a follow-up thing on the club's Facebook page, our Facebook page. That's basically it as some of our last riders roll to the line here. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching this series. I know so many of the racers have enjoyed participating in it and racing. I just want to say thank you again to all the clubs that have participated, especially Northwest Cycling Club, to Cypress Multisport, and all the clubs that's an umbrella over to, Southwest Cycling, Fort Vancouver, the individual riders who participated. Blue Agave participated, had a few riders in here and there also. And then a big thanks to Gary, who rode with us, Gary Ryan, and then also just out of the kindness of his heart agreed to throw in swag for the winners tonight as our sponsor. Always appreciate. They're not sponsoring this video or the race series or anything like that. They just decided that they wanted to throw prizes at the winners tonight. Gary's had a great time doing this series, been successful doing it, won a race, and we really enjoyed having him, and we enjoy having Vi13 as our sponsor. So thank you guys again. This is the last one. We'll do another race or two here and there, and maybe we'll do a series in the winter, but I cannot express how much I've enjoyed participating in these and being a part of them. Thank you everyone who watched, who raced. We appreciate you.